Hey, I'm Chris.
And I'm Chad. We are the creators of Order of Eventide, the pen and paper role-playing game.
All right, so today we're talking about a variant that we've baked into the game called the Roleplay Rule. So in your game book, we have a section at the back called Other Ways to Play, and it features different variants, how to make the game harder, how to accommodate more or less players and heroes in a party. And one of the rules we're talking about is the Roleplay Rule. We've got this outlined here. We've got some examples to go along with it. And what this does is it takes advantage of the pen and paper system. So if you are a veteran role player, like you play Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, or it's your first time playing this type of game, this is a great introduction to it, and it allows freedom and creativity while you're dungeon delving. So basically, what you'll come across, maybe your gaming group is new to role playing, or maybe they're veteran players, but you're playing a hero. We've got 19 different races and classes, and we encourage role playing that race and that class. So if you're playing as a halfling, for example, and you think your halfling is extra small and extra nimble, and he should be able to do something that's not outlined in the rules or the mechanics of the game, well, this makes a place for that to happen.
So the general process of the roleplay rule goes like this. First, the hero who wants to invoke the roleplay rule will tell the other party members about it. Say, I want to be able to do something. And then the party members will then confer. They'll say, yes, that sounds good. That sounds bad. You can do that, or no, you can't. And then the hero in question is going to spend one surge charge to make an attempt. And then they're going to roll a d6 to see if they are successful. And then they get to describe their success or their failure to the other party members. So let's go through a few examples. One of them, let's say we are in a peril. We're caught in a peril, and my tigerkin is low on health. The ceiling is falling down, things are crumbling, and I'm about to take a damage that I might not be able to spare. Well, I'm going to try to call on my ancestors of the massive agility of the tigerkin, and I'm going to try to do something amazing and save myself from this. And I propose that to the party, and they say, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds great. So I'll spend one surge charge, and then I'm going to roll a d6, and with a 3 and 6 chance of success. So if I roll a 1 through 3, that would be a failure. If I roll a 4, 5, or 6, that would be success. So then I take a roll, and whether I succeed or fail, that will determine whether I take the damage or whether I prevent it. So in that scenario, I might, if I succeed, I might say, okay, my tigerkin starts leaping across the falling and crumbling boulders, and he leaps up and actually ends up all the way in the ceiling, in the rafters of the dungeon, and completely avoiding damage. I'm like, awesome, sounds great. So he avoided damage that otherwise might have knocked him unconscious. But if I fail, maybe I can describe something else, like he was looking around for a hole to crawl into to avoid all of this falling debris, and he finds one. He successfully gets in there, but then that part of the wall also starts crumbling, and it crumbles on top of him, and so he takes 1 damage anyway. So be fun about it, and introduce some fun narrative aspects to it. So that's one example using a tigerkin when it comes to a peril.
Now, one thing that can happen is your party can agree that, yeah, I think that's a good use of the roleplay rule for you. Why don't you go ahead and try it? But they can counter your proposal if they want with a negative outcome should you fail. So let's say you're just going to propose something. You're playing as a halfling, and you feel like your sniffer is sniffing a pie, and you want to be able to find a fresh baked pie on a dinner table just laying there in the dungeon for you to find and consume to recover 1 health or something. And let's say your party says, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Why don't you do it? So you deduct a surge charge, you roll with 50% chance of success, you find the pie, you eat the pie, you recover 1 health. Let's say you failed the check, and in this case, your party said, well, you can, if you don't find the pie or you do find the pie, we think it should be poisoned if you fail your roll. And instead of recovering 1 health, you take 1 health. I mean, it depends on the players you're playing with. They could be kind of nasty. But you decide in the beginning if you want to have those effects or not. And then we're going to discuss the rule of 1, which is just one of a few parameters so that this is to ensure that the role-playing rule isn't something to abuse the game or to make it easier. It's really just to have fun and to get some kind of bonus or help in like a dire situation. It's all a gamble, but it should be fun. So let's talk about the rule of 1.
So the rule of 1 is that each time you invoke the roleplay rule, it allows one hero to get one chance to perform one action that affects one hero or enemy for one combat or one instance. So everything just, whatever it is, it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Very easy way to remember it. So if you want to make an extra attack, or if you want to recover a health, or if you want to inflict a status effect or something like that, or if you want to find a weapon, it's always going to be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So you find one weapon with one weapon charge that has one ability. You can recover one health. You can make an attack against one enemy that deals 1 damage. Anytime there's a number involved, that number will always be 1.
Yep, that's right. And so a couple examples, if you've read through the rules already, you know we have weapons and shields. We have different consumable items. We have Lunite shards, which are equipped to your hero's crest, and they have like a passive ability, sometimes an active ability that's situational. So with weapons and shields, so if you want your character to find a weapon that's not outlined in the game, or to search an extra time after you've already searched, or maybe you've searched and you found items, but you wanted to find something extra. So let's say you, or even you improvise a weapon. You break off a table leg or something, and it's got a bunch of nails in it, and it's extra sharp and wieldy. You can have that weapon for 1 combat. So the entire combat, you've got this weapon. Let's say it's a one-handed weapon. One-handed weapons normally have +1 attack. Two-handed weapons have +2 attack. Well, if you find a two-handed weapon, in this case, you can make it have +3 attack. So that's the rule of 1. You've gone +1 attack over the normal +2 of a two-handed weapon. You find a one-handed weapon, you can have it have +2 attack instead of +1. So improvised weapons, they have the 1 weapon charge. Let's say you find a Lunite shard, something that helps you against perils, let's say. So this Lunite shard will cause you to dodge out of the way of your next peril. Let's say that's what you decided you wanted to find. Well, after you encounter a peril with this sort of improvised or role-played Lunite shard, and you use it, it's gone forever. So it's a one-time use situationally. All right, so let's say you want to find a bomb or a potion or something that's going to have a damage-dealing effect. Well, remember the rule of 1. It can only do damage once to one enemy. So let's say you want to go really fringe here and you want to modify a burning enemy. Let's say you found a Molotov cocktail or something, and you light it up and you want to throw it. Well, one of the stipulations is just make sure that it's modifying something that's already existing. So if this is damage dealing that you want to employ with the roleplay rule, it's got to modify something that's already damage dealing, like a weapon skill or another consumable like a bomb. And so it'll do a maximum of 1 damage that whole combat. So you can't really abuse it to inflict additional burning to take place over the whole thing. It's only going to do 1 extra damage 1 time. So that 1 round to that 1 enemy. There's a whole gambit of things you can figure out with your party and be creative. But see the examples in the back of the book. Got a lot of great ideas for your party to use. But role play your character and have a ton of fun with it.
Yeah, that wraps it up for this video. Have a fun time. Happy dungeoneering.
See ya.